nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell, cause the tea don't stop. She don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell, cause the tea don't stop. She don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeysha Keysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell, cause the tea don't stop. Hit that bell, cause the tea don't stop.
Hey guys, I hope everybody is having a good day here. It is so hot. Like, baby, it's hot. When I tell you it's hot, it is hot. So I wanted to jump on here because they've been asking me to do the Diddy trial. So I've been doing it. Remember, I said last week was my last, week at work. So I'm doing these, the Diddy trial in segments, and it's a long live. So if y'all don't, have anything to do, or if you are at your desk at work, go ahead and hit the live, which is going to start in the morning at about 9 a.m. And then we'll do a second one in the afternoon because they actually break for lunch. But what I said, I learned so much, with, doing this trial. Like, I'm like, wow. So what I said, I wanted to come on here and give y'all like a quick rundown of what happened. So what happened today with regards to the Diddy trial? Cassie's mom testified. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to go over every single nuance. Now, if you want to see everything that happened throughout the trial, you can go and watch that live. I have two of them up there. You start with the first one and then go ahead and look at part two. But for this one, I'm just going to give y'all a quick rundown. So Cassie's mom testified. What she testified is that she had wired Diddy $20,000. She was sick over the alleged threats that she said Diddy allegedly did with regards to exposing, some information with regards to, sexual stuff that Cassie had did. So the mom was upset about that. And in an effort to help her daughter, she took out a $20,000 home equity loan. Now, let me kind of tell y'all why it's a home equity loan, or what, why she did that, because she didn't have $20,000. So what she was doing is trying to get him the money. Now, keep in mind, Diddy contacted Cassie's mother allegedly and asked her to pretty much give me my money back, because Diddy was upset because Cassie had now started messing around with Kid Cudi. Now, allegedly, I guess he was upset because he felt like he was financially supporting Cassie and felt like, look, if I'm taking care of her and she messing with this dude, you need to give me my money back. So that's kind of where it happened, between, Diddy and Cassie's mom. But this is another part of it that, I'm gonna tell y'all everything. Like, I don't have a dog in this fight. Now, although she gave Diddy the $20,000, she said 4 to 5 days later, he rewired it back to her. So essentially she got her money back, but it's the thought, like, why would you do that? So he did send her the money back. Now, a special agent also testified today. He is Agent 𝐬𝐿𝐫𝐿. Now, he is Homeland Security Special Agent. Now, what he testified to is the actual, what do I want to say? When they raided his home in 2024. So he testified to the AR-15s and things related to what was really found in Diddy house. So pretty much the number one thing he said was there was pows there, and they don't know who these, pows was actually registered to, because allegedly it did not have any serial numbers on there or anything like that. So pretty much what the special agent testified to is pretty much they were there, but we don't even know, who these Pow Pows belong to. The special agent testified that they found sex toys, lubricant, baby oil, which we all know about that. Okay. So they, talked about finding that stuff in the home, which I don't think y'all should be shocked because I know I heard about that as well. So another person that testified was Shereé Hayes. Now he's a 51-year-old former ecstatic dancer. So he is a person that, he dances. I want to show y'all this too. So I'm gonna show y'all this. This is this guy's website. His name is Shereé. I don't forgot his name just that fast. Shereé Hayes. So this is his website. So this guy has a website, in which he, he's a dancer. Shereé Punisher Hayes. That is the name that he goes by. Get punished. Call us today. Don't y'all be trying to call this man, trying to get into nothing crazy. But that's his website. So Shereé Hayes is the guy's name. Now, this is one of the guys that was supposedly one of the more permanent people that actually was mixing with Diddy and Cassie. Now, we're going to get into what he said. Now, Hayes said he was hired to have sex with Cassie in New York every few months. So he didn't say that it happened all the time, but it was, pretty, not consistent, but maybe every few months. Sometimes he said it was multiple days. Now, what he said is that Combs would often give directions. He said, and Cassie seemed fine with everything that was going on. He said um, once Oh, he said one time he was visibly startled after Combs was kind of like throwing the money on the bed to come to find out at the end. It was like, okay, that's your money. Now, after he had, sex with Cassie, Combs would then go to another room. Okay. And he said sometimes, Cassie would follow. He also said that when she returned in a bathrobe, Haynes said it gave him an indication that they were done. Now, he said Combs would direct them to have oral and penetrative sex, mostly interacting with Cassie. And this is what he told the jurors. He also said, well, he was asked whether he thought Cassie was enjoying it, y'all. And this is very important. He said he wasn't sure, but he said he did note that Cassie would often wince inside at Combs' direction. This appeared to be frustration with the frequency of directions. Now, this is, kind of important because later on, he gonna say something just a little bit different. So maybe he's meaning that, okay, Cassie was like, because he like, do this, do that. Maybe she was kind of frustrated with the instructions, but this is what the guy said. He also said he did not ever hear Cassie say no to any direction from Diddy. And that while he didn't do, use any illegal drugs or alcohol, he said he was offered, drugs from them. He said neither Combs nor Cassie ever appeared to be intoxicated. He also said that he did feel a little bit, out of place and kind of like discomforted. Um, and he said it kind of affected his performance because of the directions that he was receiving from Combs. Okay, he said that he did take Viagra and similar medication. He said it was a lot of pressure and said um, he had a problem maintaining erection. And then what I also learned, because I did further research, that this dude actually created a book about erectile dysfunction. So it looks like he had some problems performing, and at some point they just never called him back. Now, he described the hotel covered in sheets and baby oil bottles. Haynes said he was hired in 2012 by Cassie, who told the dancer at the time it was her birthday, using an alias name of Janet. He also said he was told over the phone that he would be performing a strip tease for a small group of friends at the Trump Tower. Now, this is what the guy said. Now, I'm just giving y'all a quick little rundown. He said Cassie greeted him at the hotel door in a bathrobe and a wig. He also said she invited him inside. He said she explained to him that she didn't want him to actually dance, because keep in mind he's a dancer. He said that Cassie said instead they wanted him to create a sexy ecstatic scene in which they would apply baby oil to each other, and her husband, which she talking about Combs, would eventually come out to watch. Now, Ventura handed this dancer $800 in cash and told him not to acknowledge or look at her husband, adding that all the furniture in the room was covered in sheets and that there were several bottles of baby oil around. She started pouring the baby oil on herself. The dancer said, after Cassie started doing it, he started doing it as well. He said, adding that out of the corner of his eye, he saw a naked man come into the room wearing a cover on his face that only showed his eyes. Now, he said that the interaction lasted about 25 to 35 minutes. He also said before Cassie allegedly handed him about $1,200 in cash. He went on to say he was called out to visit Cassie and Diddy doing the similar thing a dozen times. Now, it was to create the similar scene, the ecstatic scene where they rubbing the baby oil on each other. He also explained that he didn't realize that the man was actually Combs until this happened, y'all. One time he was meeting them at a hotel. It was, I believe he said it was the Essex House Hotel, which is located in New York. He said while he was waiting for them to, start or whatever the scene was starting or however they was fixing everything up, he said he turned on a TV at this hotel or something, and he said he saw the the welcome screen, and it said the X's Hotel would like to welcome Sean Combs. So he said at that moment he realized that, hey, this guy with this mask on is actually Combs, because he was like, okay, keep in mind he kept this blindfold on, so he didn't know who the guy was. But then after he saw it on the screen, it kind of reminded him like, wait a minute. So he said after he saw that on the screen, he realized like, wait a minute, this is, these are the people who he had been entertaining. So he said although Combs had wore the little, he covering up himself, he kind of realized at that moment that that is who he was actually seeing. Now Diddy's lawyers basically did not cross-examine Cassie's mom, and I don't really see why they would, because I mean that was a smart move. They did not cross-examine Cassie's mom. But during cross-examinations, Combs' lead attorney, Mark Anifilo, said, good afternoon, Miss Ventura. Good afternoon. And Ventura replied then, you know, good afternoon. And Nifilo told the star witness mom that I don't have any questions for you and thank you. So he didn't ask her any questions. Now, Cassie mom told the court that she actually tried to hit Diddy after he took Cassie's phone. Now, if y'all remember, there was an incident where he had took Cassie's phone. Cassie said that he had her passport and things like that. He took it, she had called her mom, but somehow Cassie mom saying she tried to hit this bro. Like, look. So in August 2016, Ventura went to Los Angeles for Cassie's birthday. Cassie was out with Sean and he stole her phone. Now, Cassie, she alleged this in court during the visit. Cassie mom testified that she got into a physical fight with music producer, Sean Combs. So she said, we had a bitter argument outside the apartment. This is what Cassie mom said. She testified that Combs security guard D-Rock, whose real name is Damian Butler, was also there and he was kind of in between them. Now, Cassie's mom recalled that they were arguing about Cassie's phone. She said, I wanted the phone back. I was yelling, screaming, and she said she was trying to hit him. After returning Cassie's phone, Cassie's mom said he, Combs took the car. So he took the girl's car. So I'm assuming that this is, maybe he paid for the car and maybe he like, look, I'm gonna take it back, I guess. Now, Cassie moms does explain during her testimony that she did take pictures of Cassie. So remember, like all of the bruising, all of the fighting, she took pictures. So during her testimony, Cassie's mom, I'm sorry, the jurors were showed pictures of the bruising that Cassie had on her body. And this was the Christmas Eve of 2011. Now, the reason why they were able to see those photos is because Cassie's mom had took the photos. Now, Cassie was bruised, and the mother said she wanted to kind of keep proof of what had happened. So they took these pictures and they just saved them. Think about, they had these pictures since 2011 and it's 2024. So when asked by prosecutors how her daughter got the bruises, Cassie's mom alleged that she was beaten by Sean Combs, and the photos were taken in Cassie's bedroom in her mom's Connecticut home. And it was the first time Cassie had told her mother about the violence in a relationship that she had with Sean. Now, Cassie's mom also recalled an intense confrontation, and this happened around April 2011 when she was visiting Cassie in LA. They were at Combs' house with a group of people, including Mia, a former Combs assistant, who is also a witness in this case. She goes on to say that Combs was upset that Mia was laughing, and Mia looked shaken and afraid while leaving the room. So this is what Cassie's mom say. Now, Cassie mom get into, basically saying she wired him $20,000. And I kind of already had said that he ended up giving the money back to her. But she said that the reason why she paid him the $20,000 was because he basically was like, you need to give me my money back. And she said, now listen to this. Cassie's mom, I'm sorry, wait a minute. Cassie confessed to her mother that Combs was threatening to release the LKS tape of her on Christmas Day around the same time Ventura, Cassie told her mom about this alleged physical altercation. Okay. So Cassie mom said she was physically sick and felt like she pretty much needed to get the money, right? So she gave him the money, because she wants not, these videos or pictures or whatever to not be out about her daughter. So she said she was scared for her daughter's safety. She testified that she was ordered to pay and he demanded it. So she paid it. Okay. Now we get into Diddy's security guard, y'all. And I'm kind of trying to make this as short as possible. Now, I'm sorry. I don't know why I said Diddy's security guard. Diddy's former assistant. Now, Diddy former assistant testified. He talked about taking lie detector tests. Now, his name is James. Now, James recalled an incident when Cassie's bracelet from the luxury jewelry brand, her Cartier bracelet went missing. He was pressured to take a polygraph test and let Combs' other employees search his belongings as they looked for the jewelry. So I guess Cassie's watch was missing and they just wanted to make sure he didn't steal it. So they made him take a polygraph. Now, it wasn't the first time that James said he felt he had to defend himself. On two other occasions, James testified he felt he had to actually take a lie detector test. The first came after the aide said Combs had a significant amount of cash go missing. So he had some money, it was missing, and they like, look, dude, we need you to take a polygraph test. He said it was intimidating. And this is what he told the court. He said he felt he couldn't say no. No, he said no if he wanted to keep his employment. Now, I guess, in that situation where stuff is coming up missing, if you don't want to take a polygraph test, did you steal it? So I don't know if that's really a bad thing, because I mean, imagine jewelry coming up missing, you trying to figure out who did it. So I don't know if that was so bad. Now, on another occasion, about 6 to 8 months later, one of Combs' watches went missing. So keep in mind, Cassie Cartier bracelet, money was missing, and now Combs' watch is missing. So listen to this, y'all. The lie detector test operator would later tell James, "You look very nervous," he testified. James said it was because, now get to this, y'all. So keep in mind, James is testifying for the prosecution, and James is actually a thief. But in this scenario, he's actually complaining that he's being forced to take a polygraph test. We'll get into this part right here. Okay. So he goes into saying that on another occasion, and this was about 6 to 8 months ago, one of Sean Combs' watches came up missing. So they were like, "You look nervous." So this is what he testified. So he was nervous, get this, y'all, because he had stolen alcohol and clothes from Combs' home without him knowing. Isn't that crazy? But you were complaining about taking a polygraph test. Bruh, they know that you are a thief. So this guy admitted that he had stole something. Like he had stole stuff from his home. Okay. So he talks about the incident with Suge Knight and Combs, in which they were going to get into this rah-rah situation. He felt like his life at some point was in danger. So in terms of thinking that, his life was in danger, he actually worked there for 2 years and just ended up ending his employment because he like, this is too much. Because keep in mind, the assistant, the guy that testified, James, he was actually in the mix when Diddy had 3 pow pows and was looking for Suge Knight. So this dude, like, "I'm out of here. I don't have time for this. Y'all ain't paying me for this." So he talks about, and also, y'all, let's get into this. This guy was given immunity because he did some criminal stuff himself. So let me just lay the foundation for y'all. Because this is his employee, this is kind of their way of proving that this was a corrupt organization, because this guy testified that he picked up drugs. Okay, he testified that he picked up pills with other people's names on it. So he was really in the mix of committing crimes. That's what this guy did. And if I'm not mistaken, he admitted to being given immunity. He also admitted that, he was told by the prosecution to not say anything that would incriminate himself. So I'm just like, oh my gosh. So, like I said, I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm just going to give y'all what actually happened. So this dude picked up stuff like large coke. He picked up Percocets, ecstasy. There was a medicine bag, and he liked President Barack Obama shaped pills. What that is, why is Barack Obama name all in it? Okay. So that is, now get this. This dude was a thief. Keep in mind, he wants to know why he got to keep taking these polygraphs, but this dude has stole clothes. He stole liquor, but wait a minute, that's not all. He stole something else. So he also talked about Diddy kept footage of him. Now let's get into why Diddy kept footage of this man. Okay. Now, he recalled a New Year's Eve party when he was invited to celebrate at Combs' house. James said he took ecstasy out of his boss bag. You see what I'm saying? James is a thief. Okay, James done stole ecstasy. He done stole liquor. He done stole clothes. James, you wonder why they keep telling you to have a polygraph. James, you sticky fingers. So he said he took these things without permission and consumed it alongside his Ciroc and all these other alcohol brands that Combs heavily promoted. So he said pretty much that he was a thief. And I believe, let me just make sure that I'm not missing none, y'all. I think that's it. Let me just make sure. Wait a minute. Wait, I got a little bit more, because I'm just trying to give y'all a high level overview. So, okay. So another thing he said, now keep in mind, this guy was he was stealing this stuff. So he said he was feeling pretty good. after he had taken the drugs, and the alcohol. He said he's normally pretty straight edge guy. He said, but he was dancing, he was vibing because he had all the stuff that he stole, right? The ecstasy, the pills. He said he was really enjoying himself, right? He was high. So a few days later, when Combs was reviewing the footage of the party with James there, he asked him, "Yo, Playboy, was that you dancing around the party?" So keep in mind. So Puffy got the footage, right? So he see this dude, he grooving and he vibing. And Puffy probably like, this dude is high, right? So he was like, "Is that you dancing and vibing around the party?" And the guy was like, "Yes." And then at that point, he said that he confirmed that he had taken the ecstasy, right? And then he said, Sean said, "Okay, I'll keep that footage in case I ever need it." So what he pretty much saying, dude, you can't like steal and then try to say, "Oh, he kept the footage." The footage was of his house, but he said, "I'm gonna keep this footage because you stole. Like this dude been stealing a lot. Like he just been stealing." So what he said was, "Okay, I'm gonna just keep the footage just in case I ever need it." But James recalled that Combs told him that. Now, when asked by prosecutors what he believed Combs meant by it, James said he assumed that Combs would release it one day if he ever wanted to embarrass him. But dude, you really stole that. Okay. Now he went on to detail, um, they call these things freak offs, wild king nights, whatever. He testified that he set up the hotel rooms with the baby oil and all of the stuff they need. He also testified that, at one point he had to bring an iPad to the hotel room. He stated when he knocked on the door, there was no answer. So he said he let himself in. He went on to testify that he saw Cassie laying on the bed with a comforter up to her neck, but she wasn't moving, which is crazy. And then he said, he was kind of concerned because she always slept on her side. He said it seemed unusual that she was on her back, which is really crazy because, I mean, what really happened? He also said there was a naked man with long hair and a very large PP. Okay. I don't know why he would be looking at that man, stuff like that. But he said the man kind of scurried away when he entered. He said he also testified he heard water running and that Combs was possibly in the shower. Now, I don't know why or what that even means. Okay, I don't understand what that even means. Okay, so that's pretty much what this guy said. Okay, now let me make sure I think that's pretty much it, y'all. That's pretty much it for today. That is pretty much what happened. So I think what I'll do is I'll come on here and give y'all a 30-minute update of what happened. Now, if you don't want to watch the live because it's hours, then I'll just give you an update here. But that is pretty much where it left off. Who left? I'm sorry, who they left on the stand was actually the federal agent, which I couldn't put him on the thumbnail. I have no idea what he looks like, but he is the person that's left on the stand, and we're going to pick up with him on tomorrow. Now, if you guys want to join at 9 o'clock or whatever, if you're at work, if you got earbuds or whatever, you can probably put those in your ear. If you want to hear the live updates, keep in mind with the live updates, I'm pretty much just waiting for them to come, and then as they come, I read them. And I've also found another way to get the information, but it's still kind of like it can take like a minute or so. So we kind of like read through various different ones and we just wait for it to update. So it's up to y'all how y'all want to do it. Or maybe y'all just want to, watch this at the end of the night, but that's pretty much it. Let me know what y'all think. If, like I said, if y'all want to join in the morning or in my mid afternoon, because I'm doing it at 9. And then I think I pick back up at 12 or 1. I don't remember, but I'll see.